Hello, Star Bear Cubs. I was inspired yesterday to start a series of readings where I focus on only one deck because I have so many beautiful decks. There are so many wonderful tarot and oracle decks out there that the creators put a lot of time and effort and energy and research and meditation and love into. And every page is just a wealth of knowledge and information and encouragement and insight that gets me, honestly, makes me cry a lot. That really cuts to the core of issues. And while I love the intuitive part of doing readings and seeing what I get from my own insight and inspiration and divine guidance, I also love to read from the books as well, because there's a lot of wonderful information there, and sometimes why reinvent the wheel, right? So this particular reading, and I will do more with this deck, I will call Moon Messages, because this deck is the Moonology deck by Yasmin Boland, and she bases these cards on all the phases of the moon. And there are different cards that are the new moon or the waxing crescent moon, the full moon, the balsamic moon, etc. And they all mean different things. And it also is a great way to learn about the zodiac signs and the different personalities and qualities of them. So I'm going to do a reading today that is just going to involve this deck, and I will do a lot of reading from the book. I also put this crystal here, which is a moonstone, which I thought was appropriate for this reading, and I hope my camera focuses. Moonstones are my absolute favorite. This is a rainbow moonstone. It's just not focusing. Which is about connecting to ancient wisdom, the divine feminine. Hello. And brings balance. Yeah. And I also have a moonstone ring, which you may have noticed in some of my readings, which is why I wear it. It just helps me to feel more connected. Yeah, we'll try again later. But look at that beautiful iridescent blue glow. That's part of the magic of the stone. Is sometimes it just glows blue, and I'm not sure why. That's just part of its magic. All right, so let's get started with the reading. So this is just going to be a general reading for whoever feels drawn to it, for whoever it resonates, and whenever you get it. How I'm going to do this is the first card is going to be you right now. Then the first row is going to be what helps you, and the next row will be what hinders you, and the top row will be your realized or your unrealized potential. And this is a general reading, again, so this may not resonate for you at this time. And if not, this might not be your story, but perhaps another reading or story will be yours. Maybe it'll resonate a year from now. So let's start with a card that represents you right now. We got bring love into the situation. Okay. New moon in Aquarius. So the new moon cards imply a beginning, a fresh start, a clean slate. Okay, so right now you are looking at, you either have just come out of the end of something and you are looking to begin again, either in a love relationship or any kind of relationship that requires a little bit more love. So perhaps there was conflict or tension, some kind of argument, some kind of confrontation or tension. But let's see what the card has to say. Aquarius is all about progress and modernity, so this is the time to move forwards. The new moon in Aquarius card means no looking back. Change is on its way and it could come quickly. Whether you get the change you want depends both on whether you believe you can have it and how much you're relying on others to bring it to you. This card comes with the suggestion that you may need to do things independently, on your own, but be loving, not too pragmatic. Time may be of the essence when this card comes up. Aquarius energy has an electric feel to it. Certainly there is a sense that you need to let go of the past and move towards your future as soon as possible. Now, I said I would put this card down here, but I think I'm going to put it up here. This represents you. That's a good idea. Okay, so that is you right now. You are in the middle of a situation where love is needed, and you are looking to make some changes carefully, though, and lovingly. So now let's see what helps you in this situation that requires a little loving touch. What helps you? This general moon messages reading. What helps you? We have it's time to release negativity. Full moon in Scorpio. Let's just see if we get anything else here. Is anything else going to help our new moon in Aquarius person? Not gender or zodiac specific. Or maybe if you're drawn to this reading, you are an Aquarius. Or you know somebody who is. Perhaps somebody you're connected to is. Do we have anything else that helps? No, perhaps that's it. It's time to release negativity. Releasing negativity is what will help. And it's a full moon. So that's interesting. We've gone from our new moon to a full moon, looking at what to release. If you've been feeling paranoid and acting weird, sorry, I'll hold this up. Take this card as a very direct message from the cosmos to stop it. Worrying yourself is pointless. It's time to release any negativity you have around the situation you're asking about. If someone has been unkind to you, perhaps it's time for you to release them. This card heralds an emotionally intense time since both the full moon and Scorpio themselves are both extremely intense. It's time for you to feel all your feelings. There could be some nastiness in the air when you pull this card. If that's the case, take it as a sign to move away from anyone or anything you feel is toxic. For some, however, this card has a totally different meaning. It's time to move from living fearfully to living joyfully. Or in this case, it's time to release something toxic and bring love into the situation. All right, let's see what we get for what hinders you. What hinders you in this particular situation? The first thing that comes to your mind. What hinders you in this particular toxic negative situation? Perhaps it's a work relationship or a romantic relationship. What hinders? Whoever feels drawn to this reading at this time. We have surrender to the divine. Another full moon. Oof. And conclusions are within reach. Full moon eclipse. So these are what hinders you right now. So let's see what the book has to say. And full moons mean results, forgiveness, and gratitude. So we have the very word climax brings all sorts of ideas and images to mind. Agreed? But it really is the feeling of this card. Life is coming to a head, a point, a conclusion, or a turning point. There may be some kind of change and possibly even some sort of emotional explosion. Tune into your emotions now and see what they're telling you. They're very likely close to the surface no matter when in the moon cycle you've pulled this card. Matters will soon conclude and you'll find out whether or not your wishes are going to come true. The odds are in your favor, as this is a positive card, but you may need to work harder than usual to keep cool as events unfold. Now, because this is in the what hinders you row, I would take that to mean you are having a hard time keeping your cool. You're having a hard time showing love and releasing negativity. You're having a hard time surrendering and trusting that the situation will go the way you want it to go. You're being encouraged that it is a positive time to make this change, but perhaps you are having a hard time letting go. This card wants you to know you are going to get the answers you need. You have to trust that it is make or break time. Maybe you're having trouble making that decision. Then we have conclusions are within reach, which is very appropriate to go with surrender to the divine, because it was just talking about conclusions that are within reach. So now we're going to go a little deeper into these conclusions. The full moon eclipse, and just like that, a door slams shut. If you've pulled this card, it suggests that the situation you're asking is about to reach a peak or has just done so, and things are now out of your hands. What you're experiencing now is what your soul signed up for. A way for you to learn and for your soul to evolve. So allow events to unfold and be easy on yourself. If you're letting go of someone or something, know that it's the right time, as hard as it might be. Forgiving someone for what they did could be key to resolving this situation in a positive way. It doesn't make right what they did, but it releases it so you can move on. We were just talking about how releasing negativity is going to help you. But it seems like that's something that's really hard for you to do. But this card wants you to know that which is meant for you will not pass you by. But at the same time, doors that slam shut will not reopen. So you need to accept that when things end, they're done. And you don't need to fight for them. You need to get back on track and go towards what it is you really want. But for some of you, it might be a matter of forgiving and bringing love into the situation, which is what you're trying to do right now. Now, I just noticed that another card actually flipped over, which I didn't notice before. And interestingly, it's the Don't Let Pride Get in Your Way card, full moon in Leo. Would it be too personal to admit that I get this card a lot in my personal readings? Not really sure how I'm supposed to take that, but you know, don't let pride get in your way. This is what hinders you. Have you been letting your pride become an obstacle? Well, evidently you have, if this reading resonates with you. Is the question you're asking based on your ego, or is it from your heart? Leo energy is all about the heart. Think of the big-hearted king of the jungle, the lion. Its energy is magnificent, but when it's combined with the rush of the full moon, it can become over the top. This card may have come to you because you need to end a deadlock that has developed. More love and thoughts for the greater good are the solution to this dilemma. Oh my goodness. Can I just point out, bring love into the situation. This is kind of bringing more clarity on this story that's unfolding. Maybe what's happening is not necessarily that the situation needs to end, but perhaps both parties need to take a good look at how they're handling the situation and releasing any negative feelings that people are hanging on to, and not letting pride get in the way, and bringing love into the situation. If you've not been doing as you would be done by lately, this is the time to find a balance between your own needs and the needs of the people around you. This will help all your relationships. This card teaches you that everyone is equally important. A friendship may be ending now, so perhaps for some of you, it does mean that the relationship is ending. But sometimes ending a situation is a way of bringing love into the situation. If it's just too toxic, if both of you are too proud to end it, if both of you are having trouble being yourselves, being honest, being loving, then maybe that is the way to go, but definitely not the case for all of you. Okay, let's move on now to your realized or unrealized potential. So this isn't exactly the same as potential outcome. This is the potential of the situation. We always have many paths we can take, many roads, many choices, many forks in the road. So the future is never set in stone. Should you set your pride aside and talk about things lovingly in this deadlock situation, in this situation in which there's some toxicity that needs to be released perhaps on both sides, or emotions are running high and you need to tread lightly in dealing with this situation. So Spirit, what is the realized and unrealized potential for whoever was drawn to these moon messages? Whew. All right, and almost as if to piggyback my sentiment that there are always possible potentials and outcomes, I got several cards here. So we're just going to look at these one by one. We have Step Out of Your Comfort Zone, which is the North Node card. I've explained this in other readings, but no doubt many of you will not have heard it. So the whole concept of the North Node and South Node is that we all come into this world with our preconceived ideas, emotions, ways of being, that we cling to, sort of our fallback patterns, karma, comfortable patterns of behavior that we just default to. And that's how we come into this world, and that's how we learn to be, and how the lens that we view the world through. But the North Node is the goal. And if you look at your birth chart, it's always the zodiac sign that's directly opposite of your natal chart that shows you your North Node, which is your goal, where you're headed, where you want to end up, what you want to learn, the lessons that you need to undergo to get to where you want to be, to achieve your dream. So that often involves stepping out of your comfort zone, because the hardest lessons and the best lessons are the most challenging ones. So this is a really good card for realized, unrealized potential, because that's exactly what this card is. Your realized or unrealized potential. This is potential. That's exactly what this card is. And so I would take this card to be an encouragement, actually, if you haven't researched your birth chart. And you can do that by simply, there are a lot of free sites online where you can look up your a free natal chart, free birth chart, and it'll just ask you your birth date, your name, and you can get that information. You can find out what your South Node, North Node is, and do the research, everything. I mean, technology is an amazing thing. You can Google it all for free, and you can find out what your South Node and your North Node is. And believe me, if you research your South Node, it will be mind-blowingly accurate in terms of your personality traits and what challenges you, what motivates you, your gifts and strengths, weaknesses, all that. And then also finding out your North Node, what that means. And you might find some familiar themes, things in your life, things that you feel drawn to, things that you have been feeling drawn to, things you've been feeling challenged, areas you feel challenged to grow in, or encouraged to grow in or improve in. Maybe it's a career path that you are drawn to, or it's lessons in relationship. Whatever it is, you will, in doing that research, you will realize, wow, that makes sense why I've been going that direction, why I've been drawn to go that way. So we're going to come back to this and read the card, but I'm just going to read the rest of the cards that came out. Another potential, realized or unrealized potential. A personal issue reaches resolution. Wow, we're getting a whole story here. We've got, you know, there's something negative that needs to be released, and pride is getting in the way, and also a lack of love and an inability to just let things be. And and now we've got, okay, that it's going to reach a resolution. So another possible potential is that it will get resolved. And And we'll read this card just to get a little more details on what that might mean for you in your particular situation. Then we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. Oh my goodness. Can we get all of the ending cards here? The, conclusion cards, resolution, so reaching resolution, and the end of a tough cycle approaches. So something difficult and tough, a cycle that is coming to an end, and it looks like it's going to be really good once it ends. And oh my goodness, you're very close to achieving your goal. I assure you, the cards are not all like this. These are all of the ending cards here. This is fascinating. Okay, so in the interest of keeping this short, I will get right to reading from the book here without a whole lot of yammering. So, North Node. Yes. What does the book have to say about the North Node that I have not already said? There's a strong feeling when you get this card that it's time to leave the past behind somehow, because you are headed in the right direction. If you want to be happy and fulfilled, you need to get going towards doing the thing that scares you within reason. This card is all about living your life purpose, which is possibly what you've asked about. It's urging you to dare to do something different with your life and your direction, to take action. So you are willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to. Sorry, it's a question. So are you willing to follow through and lead the life you incarnated to live? If you finally find the courage to make the leap, there's a good chance you'll come to ask yourself, why did I wait so long? So yeah, this could also just be in resolving this situation, this loggerheads and deadlock situation. It might involve stepping out of your comfort zone in order to do that. And then we have, again, a personal issue reaches resolution. Things are likely to get very heated, as full moon in Cancer is a super emotional sign. So there could be something of an explosion of feelings around now or surrounding your question. That's interesting. That's sort of what this other card said. Conclusions are within reach. The full moon eclipse. So yeah, definitely in some of your situations, there are a lot, emotions are running high, and you need to tread lightly and be careful how you word things. It's important to be sensitive to other people when you pull this card. There are some very fine sensibilities around, so tread carefully as you move towards your goals or dreams. This card indicates an especially feminine time. It also heralds the time to deal with any family issues coming up. Nothing to worry about. It signals a challenge is now coming to an end. This card also suggests both that a domestic matter or private issue will soon come to a head, and that it's a great time to move house. The answer to your question lies in being a kind leader. This is time for you to step up and agree to overcome your insecurities, which could probably be why pride is coming into play in this situation. If any of you watched my messages from spirit reading that I just posted, this message is eerily similar to that one. So seems like this is a very strong issue that's going around and that a lot of people need to hear. Advice for, or clarity around. Now we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is reminding you that effort is required. Work issues may be about to come to a head when this card comes up. If you are wondering if you should stay in your job or leave, this card can be a strong sign to make an exit. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you've prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is troubled, prioritize it more. Or hey, bring more love into the situation. Okay. I know this is becoming a rather general reading, but I am hoping that you take what resonates and leave the rest behind. There's a little of something for everyone, it seems, particularly in this potential section, the realized and unrealized potential. Now we have the Gibbous Moon. The word gibbous means bulging, What a descriptive word, right? And pulling this card at any time of the month suggests that the situation you're asking about is bulging with possibility and coming to a peak. Though you're certainly on the right track, which is hopefully reassuring for you. However, there's also a sense that the situation is a bit tense. So don't push too hard. One false move and the whole thing could blow. That's not meant to scare you. It's just to let you know there's a fuse attached to the situation. So be careful if you choose to light it. But this card does want you to know you are on the right track. But it's a good time to review your plans and stay focused. But you're being encouraged to keep the momentum going because you are on the right track and moving towards your dreams. You're moving towards a positive outcome. Okay, so those are all of the moon cards for the moon messages here. And it seems clear that you are in the middle of a conflict, a tough, tense situation, and there's some pride and ego getting in the way, and maybe some misunderstanding, maybe some manipulation, or some unfairness, cruelty, whatever it is, there's not enough love. So bring more love into the situation. Be more careful about how you express yourself. And Aquarius is also an air sign, the sign of truth and clarity. So be truthful, be clear, but also be kind. And whatever this is that you need to do, it will be challenging. It'll be uncomfortable. But it'll be you stepping out of your comfort zone and learning something new, perhaps closing out a cycle and learning a very powerful and strong lesson. And then look at all of this. The issue reaches resolution. The end of a tough cycle approaches and you are very close to achieving your goal. So it sounds like whatever is going on for you, whatever situation comes to your mind, it looks like it will end positively if only you act out of love and good faith and truth and honesty, integrity, and keeping the other person's emotions in mind, and just being fair and kind and loving. And it looks like it will go well for you. So I'm going to end it there. Best of luck as you deal with this situation, this personal situation. And just have faith that whatever is meant to happen will happen. And that you are on the right path. Love and light to you.